Today's readings are all so beautiful. They speak to us so much of God's abundant love and lavish care for us. In the first reading, God invites us, "All you who are thirsty, come to the water." How appropriate for we whose mother house is located on a bluff overlooking the Mississippi, the great, wonderful river. The scriptures often speak of living water, water that refreshes and cleanses and gives life to our thirsty, parched bodies and spirits. A number of years back, the river gave me an experience of the meaning and significance of living water. I was living here in Dubuque and had an office in the BVM Center looking out at the river. My first winter back was particularly brutal, with temperatures at one point of 28 degrees below zero. Even for a Minnesota girl, that was a bit extreme. The river was frozen over for months. One morning in late spring, I arrived at my office and looked out at the river as I always did, and it was open and flowing. I ran into the hallway, and without thinking, I started yelling, "The river is open! The river is open!" And even now, it touches me to remember that day and that feeling. It felt like I could start breathing again, like I had been holding my breath, waiting, praying, hoping. The river was alive again. It was truly living water again. I didn't realize how much I missed it, nor how thirsty I was for its return. How often in our lives are we holding our breaths, waiting, praying, hoping? In today's gospel, Jesus has just learned of the death of John the Baptist, his cousin, and he needs some quiet time to pray and reflect about this painful event. He tries to get away from the crowds, but they anticipate where he is going, and they are waiting for him when he arrives. When he disembarked from the boat and saw the vast crowd, Jesus' heart was moved with pity for them, and he cured their sick. Jesus saw people holding their breaths, waiting, praying, hoping he could heal them. Putting aside his own pain, he began to cure their sick. And God says, "You who have no money, come without paying and without cost." With the sick were those who loved them and cared for them. They were the worried ones, the anxious ones, the desperate, lonely, tired ones. Their sickness, their dis-ease, was more hidden, but just as real. They too were holding their breaths, waiting, praying, hoping. And Jesus healed them too. We've all had those moments of holding our breaths. And God says, "Come to me heedfully. Listen, that you may have life. You are precious in my eyes, and I love you." But more than healing happened that gospel day. Our God is so full of surprises. The people all got fed. The gospel tells us Jesus ordered the crowd to sit down on the grass And taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. Miraculously, everyone was fed, and there were leftovers. Their hunger was satisfied. But so often, what we hunger for is not food. Coming here to Mount Carmel, looking out over the river I love so much, seeing old friends and having time to share with them, watching my family delight in the beauty of this place that I love so well, and being with so many of my BVM sisters. All that is soul food for me, and perhaps it is for you as well. And God says, why spend your money for what is not bread, your wages for what fails to satisfy? Heed me, and you shall eat well. You shall delight in rich fare. Our God has gathered us together this weekend. God has gathered us. None of us is here by accident. We are not just a random group of people. All of us, Silver and Golden Jubilarians, beloved members of the set of 1961, dearest family and friends, and my always welcoming, gracious sisters, all of us have been invited here by our God. Jubilee was just God's excuse. For our God, these days are an opportunity to renew our spirits by the beauty and serenity of this holy place. For some of us, perhaps God is healing wounds which have caused us pain over the years. For others, God is offering the opportunity to see with new eyes people and places that are part of our life story. For all of us, God is providing us this time and this place to celebrate life and friendships and family and commitment and community. To all of us, our God says, you who have been holding your breath, breathe. Breathe deeply. Delight in rich fare. Delight in the beauty of this place and the people all around you. Enjoy. You who are thirsty, who are hungry, come. I will renew you. I will refresh you.